Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogbo333, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4,000 Week Reich as the Union of South Africa. Now, last time we were here together, we started up on the election season. We're doing our best to keep the UP in power. In what form, I'm not quite sure yet, but we will find our way. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. It's going to depend on how we end up doing versus the NP. But we're looking at the economic debate real quick. So we'll see how that ends up going. Okay, so this is like a generic debate boost, so we can get any part we want. Okay. Economic policy has not been at the center of South African politics on its own, and generally the two big parties have not disagreed significantly on the broad strokes of economic policy. However, in recent years, debates over economic policy have become increasingly closely tied to the debates around race relations. Significant dissatisfaction has been built up over the economic policies of our government, particularly when it comes to wartime rationing and tying to racial politics and increased labor mobility of black South Africans. The National Party has been able to harness these criticisms to their own benefit, arguing that their proposed policies of apartheid would bring economic benefit to African or South Africans, as well as what they see as social advantages. We'll have to see if those arguments bring them greater political support. Well, it is United who ends up making gains. There we go. Hold on, hello? Okay, there we go. I have to specifically zoom in. Okay. Can I zoom in? Okay, let's do that. Let's look at, let's look at our foreign policy. Foreign policy in South Africa's place in the world is a particularly contentious issue in modern South African politics. Our membership of the Commonwealth and ties to Britain and her allies are in many ways advantageous, but are deeply controversial among much of the Afrikaner population, given strong memories of the Boer Wars, or Freedom Wars as some call them. This debate will play a major part in the upcoming election. Interesting indeed. These keep missing. Germany wins the football stuff. Conservatives win there. Stuff in Bulgaria. Police have their elections going on. Interesting. Britain tests the A-bomb. That's going to be interesting for sure. What are we using fuel for right now? Ooh, actually that does remind me though. I know... Where's resources? Trade. If I'm not mistaken. Yep, that's what that was about. That's why we're using fuel. We have to have a little bit on reserve for our consumption. Krasnoyarsk has collapsed. Not too surprised there. Interesting that you can do a foreign policy thing there. Okay. Well, this gives us an off-map civilian factory, so that already sways me anyway. Foreign policy in South Africa's place in the world is a particularly contentious issue of modern South African politics, especially given our nation's history. Since Britain took the Cape in the early 19th century, South Africa's place in the world has been contentious. During the subsequent Great Trek, large numbers of Dutch South African settlers moved from the Cape to the interior. Here they set up independent republics that were eventually absorbed into the British Empire during the brutal First and Second Boer Wars, or the Freedom Wars as they were known by many Afrikaners. Excuse me. Even half a century on, the legacy of these conflicts remain, and while we have proudly stood beside Britain in war since, many Afrikaners within our nation continue to resent British domination. Our membership of the Commonwealth and ties to Britain and her allies are in many ways advantageous, but continue to be deeply controversial among much of the Afrikaner population. In recent years, the national parties called for a more independent foreign policy and some level of disaffiliation from the Commonwealth. Some within the party even called for the nation to become a republic, cutting the last constitutional ties with the British monarchy. The United Party, meanwhile, has continued to hold ties to Britain and her allies as important to her foreign policy, in a debate that has become increasingly heated in recent years. Only time will tell how future voters were swinging on this issue. Well, the West is our ally. Let's handle political polarization next. Yeah. The political scene of South Africa is potentially too vibrant for its own good. A wide variety of political movements ranging from far left, such as the Communist Party, the various trade unions, the ANC, and the Indian Congress, to extreme right, those guys, the OB, the South African society may be experiencing an overheating of political activities. To make the already fragile situation worse, it seems that the National Party is more than happy to exploit this polarization for their own political gains. It's the only level-headed political party left in South Africa. It's our duty to prevent the fracturing of the South African society. Well, we're hanging on pretty well thus far. We'll keep campaigning, but we have a decent lead on polls going for us. Let's begin. Interesting. The Toronto Accords have not... Oh, interesting. That's very interesting. Didn't realize the Toronto Accord doesn't do the Olympics in this timeline. Oh, do these not give factories anymore? Oh, damn it. Oh, that was such a busted way to get extra factories going. Now, this is a better timed out, actually. You can actually take these closer to each other. That's objectively a good change, I gotta say. But getting the extra factories was sick. Very exploitable, but awesome. Oh, well. Ooh. There goes LeVar. Oh no. Oh, I fell already. From our campaign material to our slogans, the UP's efforts are concentrated on the message of maintaining national unity in the form of political moderation between two irrational extremes. However, there is a split in our staffs on how to best convey this message of national unity, opinions ranging from an equal combination on all sides, or a focused attack on the rising bigotry across the nation. Keep it moderated on both sides. Let's look to domestic policies. Ever since its foundation, the racial politics of South Africa have been particularly controversial. A collection of laws have already existed since the beginnings of colonial rule and settlement, controlling populations on a racial basis, restricting the rights of black and colored South Africans, and maintaining the supremacy of the white population. In recent years, the UP's government has worked to move away from these rules and reduce their importance, while on the contrary, the National Party proposed a sweeping strengthening of racial segregation measures under policy of apartheid. Which way the country goes will have profound effects on the social fabric of the nation for decades to come. Man, German space flight. Oh. Oh, he's dead. Never mind. Hold on. Oh, shit. Native groups in Southwest Africa have risen against us. Formerly a German colony, Southwest Africa became a League of Nations mandate under our control following the Great War. Whilst our roles have been generally smooth, the growing independence movement has bubbled under the surface. It seems that we underestimated the scale of this movement, as the territory has erupted into open rebellion under the ban of a new Namibian nation. Force will have to fight hard to restore order in the nation. Oh, shit. Do I have to do it? I probably should. Okay, let's get a field marshal going. Let's promote... I still can't promote anyone. Shit. Here goes the French Civil War. France has lost the battle, but she has not lost the war. Charles de Gaulle. The Reich's dominoes are falling. Meanwhile, limited intervention, my ass. Yeah, heavy intervention, I can tell. Greek Civil War. Is this going to be difficult? This might end up being difficult. Dr. Hans von Rensburg, leader of the OB organization, has given a speech in Pretoria on the upcoming election campaign. Flanked by his Stormyard guards, Dr. von Rensburg spoke of his intention to boycott the election, saying that both the National and United parties can no longer represent the needs of the Afrikaner within South Africa. He stated that the new Prime Minister, no matter his allegiance, will always be a puppet to the Anglo-Western world order. An international clique has decided the fate of the Afrikaner folk, and therefore true change can never come through the ballot box. The organization was founded during the centenary, of the Great Trek, using symbolism to represent the event, since become a prominent voice for extreme Afrikaner nationalists. However, the OB has faced much criticism for their pro-German stance, allegations of anti-Semitism, Nazism. Dr. von Rensburg has also visited the German Reich multiple times. Despite this, the organization has received an increase in support in recent years, particularly from defectors from Milan's National Party. For now, it looks like Dr. von Rensburg is making a stand and is here to stay. A Nazi agitator. So who's rising up over here? Oh, Sam. Okay. Hi, Sam. I didn't realize it was, Okay. Perhaps the big debate going on in South African politics is that of the racial politics of South Africa. Ever since the first Dutch settlers landed in the country some 300 years ago, the issue of racial hierarchy has persisted. Since then, a patchwork of laws have governed the relations between racial groups, restrictions on them, particularly on black, Asian, and colored South Africans, and usually preserving the predominance of the white South African population. In recent years, the reformist United Party has moved to slowly curb and de-emphasize racial restrictions, but this has been controversial. The Afrikaner Nationalist National Party, meanwhile, has campaigned primarily on racial issues. They propose to reverse recent reforms and significantly strengthen restrictions and separations between racial groups. They've dubbed their policy apartheid, or apartness, representing an effort for wholesale segregation of ethnic groups within the country across South African society. This has been announced as radical by the United Party politicians, but has also been gaining significant support among many Afrikaner communities. As the debate heats up, we'll have to see which side is able to make gains amongst potential future swing voters. And United makes gains. Let's do some new defense contracts. The defense of South Africa is an important matter. Where our defense force is in a rather pathetic state, it's time for us to find potential solutions to address this concern. In order to begin the strengthening of South African military, we must procure the additional equipment. Of course, this means that a new defense contract regarding military equipment is at hand, a political subject that the opposition would surely latch onto. Okay, can I go ahead and sneak into Walvis Bay? Because if so, I can crush this guy. Perm, interesting. Okay, the tank is already doing it. Okay, you gotta stay there. It's screen and good to go, but it's not going. Okay, we can get a promoted guy to field marshal now, though. Let's do Christian Detroit. The name makes me fear. Oh, I shouldn't assume based off a name. It's assaulted to Windhoek. There goes our Warren. There we are. And then, yeah, these guys don't have much. We don't really have much more, but okay, interesting. The South African Defense Force requires modern arms to begin their modernization program. To resolve this problem, the government has been presented with two options. We can either draft a new contract with a British firm to procure the necessary equipment, or alternatively, we can give this contract to a local manufacturer. While a commitment towards the British Commonwealth should be demonstrated in the form of cooperation, it's clear that the electorate always feels especially patriotic during election season. Yeah, we need to develop our own military industry. Let's get one over in Pretoria. Let's respond to bigoted rhetoric. The National Party and their supporters are becoming increasingly bigoted in their political rhetoric. Selectioneering it is our duty to dispel any false narratives that the opposition might potentially throw to misguide the electorate. There we go. Let's get some more guns going primarily. And then is that gonna be... No, not quite yet. Evidently we still need to take some more. That should be okay. Let's see if I can't get the tank to help me do some sneaky maneuvers. Should be able to do a little encirclement here. Today's the day of the vow, known in Afrikaans as Gelofdag, a popular holiday among Afrikaners commemorating their past victories at the Battle of Blood River. The battle was fought between the Voortrekkers, ancestors of the Boers, and an army of Zulu warriors. Vowing to God that in exchange for victory they would forever honor this day as a holy day. They went on to kill over 3,000 of the Zulu while suffering only 3 wounded, and founded the Republic of Natalia, one of the Boer republics, in the aftermath. Seen and celebrated by Afrikaners as proof that God wills their supremacy over black Africans. Few others share this belief. Well, someone's happy about it. Alright, we got some tech to pick up. Let's get construction 2 going. Let's get this guy to help crush the rest. Tell of you help crush that guy there. And then we're really going to have to push into the interior here, aren't we? The northern little tidbits. The fascistic OB is becoming more and more active as the election draws nearer. Their hateful speeches and anti-democratic ideals are threatening the very core of South African democracy. While it's fully within their rights to organize these hateful rallies, several prominent liberals within the party have floated the idea of drafting a protection of speech bill that would function as a counter to public displays of anti-democratic behaviors. And now, after many discussions, This group of legislators has approached PM Hofmeier for his blessing of this proposal. Hofmeier gave his implicit approval. Okay, let's go ahead and work on uniting the United Party. Day by day, the UP inches towards political collapse due to their increasingly dividing competition between the liberal wing and the moderate wing. If these factions might be suspicious of one another, PM Hofmeier's prestigious status of figurehead of both wings should be able to mend the divisions within the UP. There we go. Get you to start attacking into there. How are we doing casualty-wise? We only lost 65 people. They lost 8,000. Jesus. Newspaper closely aligned with the NP managed to gather leaks of the preliminary Protection of Speech Acts draft that our liberal colleagues were working on. While these plans are nowhere near finished, the opposition uses to leverage to call our government autocratic. Some even went as far as call PM Hofmeier a fake bore, a race traitor even. Our staffers are currently scrambling for an appropriate response, all they need now some guidance from top brass. Counter this absurd narrative. Let's get you guys into this little, And are we really going to have to fully occupy all their land? It appears yes. And we'll just go ahead. Take both states, confirm exit. Well, what are you going to do? Might have goofed up somewhere there. I'm not sure. I don't know what this ends up doing. Guess I should have put a bit more attention to it. Probably gonna have the comment section yelling at me. Ooh. Two wings of a UP have come together to reach an understanding regarding their upcoming election. Party moderates are calling for a broader approach to campaigning, mainly to appeal to potential Afrikaner voters who have not yet committed themselves to the National Party's cause. To achieve this, moderates are calling for less spotlight and divisive issues that might alienate the electorate, such as the issue of race and organized labor. Contrast to liberals want to seize the opportunity to secure the support of educated or eligible minorities, which calls for an active effort to spotlight the UP's liberal policies on controversial issues. I guess we'll have to decide here now. You know what? The UP now represents modernity. We need that political power, I think, so. Now let's go ahead and do some railway modernization. South African Railways is tirelessly working towards a full modernization of the national rail network. To achieve this, new tracks have been laid and new locomotives have been purchased from our Commonwealth partners. There we go. Suck it, H-Dog. Yeah, sure. Burma's on fire. What else is new? Anyway, I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave things there. I like how the UK just owns this random little bit of Cameroon, and then the rest is just free West Africa. Anyway, I'm gonna go in and ahead and leave things there, my friends. But thank you as always for watching. If you like this video, leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you have any comments or feedback, leave in the comment section below. I read all comments you get, and I do appreciate any feedback you might have for me. The sub button and notification bell to keep updated with uploads as they come out. And check out my various links down in the description box below. That's it for now, my friends. I thank you all for watching. My name has been Mr. Dogboat333, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye now.